Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, The Evil Dungeon Master here for the Evil Dungeon Master channel. I am Vince. Hopefully you're having a great day. Today I want to talk a little bit about some RPGs that I've been playing. Now, I've been playing a lot of solo RPGs lately to help me learn certain systems, and one of the things that I've been on a real kick so far about is the Cepheus Engine RPG, which is basically like Traveler. It's the Mongoose Traveler 1E, but like an open license, so you can make up whatever game you want. The Cepheus engine has spawned a whole bunch of things like Cepheus Deluxe, Cepheus Lite. I kind of like the Cepheus Lite, but the one thing that I've been playing lately and really enjoying solo wise is Hostel by Zozer Games. Now, Hostel by Zozer Games is a standalone solo role playing game set in the grimdark, gritty future. Now, it has its own setting that you can play with a group guided by a game master. That's exactly the same thing as in this book, except the setting and the rules are in two books because it's a lot, like 500 pages total. And he didn't want one big giant book being thrown at people. So this one here is close to 230 pages alone because it just has solo rules in it, how to play the game by yourself, and how to manage a crew. Now, this game is inspired by Outland, Alien, Darkstar, Pitch Black, Event Horizon, and The Thing. It's all about blue-collared workers out in space trying to deal with realistic situations that they would, not normally have to deal with. So it's an interesting game for the simple fact that you can play in this setting and have a whole bunch of a team of characters, or you can have one character. It's up to you what you want to play. You can also use this, and I've seen other people use these rules in here to play whatever they really wanted, as far as they don't have to do the campaign settings in here or whatever they put in here. You can play whatever you want. I saw a guy play a game that was, he was marshals, and he was hunting down bounties and things like that. I saw another guy do a World War II game with these settings. So there's a generic for these, like I said, Cepheus engine. There's Cepheus Deluxe that was made by the same author by Zozer Games, Paul Elliott. And he also made, I think, Cepheus Lite. I'm not positive about that. I think Cepheus Lite might be something different. I'm just starting to get into these little things. But in this grim world, nations exist, but they're overshadowed by corporations, kind of like in Shadowrun. There's a game that this reminds me of on Steam that came out maybe about a year ago called The Company, when you went into space and it's like a dark, gritty, grim space type thing, and you have to collect all these things for the company so you can survive. So you would go out and do these jobs and everything in these dangerous areas and bring the stuff back to the company. So you're basically like the blue-collar workers in this game, The Company. And now it's actually in an RPG form, which I'm sure that they didn't really take it from there, but it's just an example. I think the game is taken from this, to be honest. It's got a unique setting for it, that the environment is survival tough. It's like a really unforgiving sci-fi type game that has so many possibilities for you to do things in that your imagination is just the limit when it comes to this game. It has a lot of horror elements into it because the main feature of this thing is, since you're normal humans and you're going through these jobs, it's kind of like the isolation of being alone is in itself the horror factor of this game. There is a lot of lore in this game. There's a lot of setting packed into this game. There's much to talk about with this game. And I'm only talking about the solo rulebook today because I still have to go through the other books and read them. But I was really excited about this after I was done playing the actual solo game, that I wanted to talk about it and talk about my experiences with it. And it's just a 2d6 system, just like Traveler is, adding a number, trying to beat that 8. And generally that's what it is for the most part. And there are unique rules in the solo book that he gives you how to resolve situations, as opposed to, or resolve scenes, as opposed to doing it through like the Mythic Game Master emulator, or Game Master Apprentice card. You can do it through that. He has kind of like, I want to compare it to like an Ocean's 11 plan type situation. You configure the plan that you want to do, and then you decide how risky that plan is, And that's what you have to roll on against. And then after that, you see if you succeed or you fail with some difficulties. And that's when you start to narrate what happens in the story, and you see where you can go from there. And then you do the in-between stuff as well. If you failed, then you can find a reason why and what happens to your crew, and then you can narrate what happens to it. It's a lot of little note taking for yourself, or you can record it on yourself. Whichever. I use a recording device sometimes when I play to recap, so I don't have to worry about writing everything down. There's this one that I use that was Note AI. It was on the iPhone. It was free, but then they now decided to do a fee like everything else. But what I was doing is having that down, and when I was done, it would highlight the key points for me, so I can keep my bullet notes nice and fresh and clean, and have to worry about it. So I know a lot of people out there are into solo role playing, and some people aren't because they think it's dumb. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's a good way to learn a new system in your life. And what better way to do it is by yourself, and there's no pressure when it comes to it. And yeah, some people think it's weird to talk to yourself, but it's also fun in the sense you did it as a kid. Why can't you do it now by yourself? I mean, who cares? It's just you, and you're just playing. But we did it as kids. We took little toys. We went, made little voices up for, what He-Man, G.I. Joe, whatever the toy was, Pokemon, whatever the hell the toy was for your time. That's what you did, and you had fun doing it. And we lost that aspect along the way as we became adults because we thought it was childish and immature. But they say the same thing about role-playing games. It's childish and immature, when it's totally not. And it's a great way to exercise your mind, your imagination, and creativity. And that's what solo role-playing does for me. And maybe it does it for you. And there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, I really want to get into these things, but I always have a problem starting. Well, throw yourself into action, let the dice roll, see what happens in the situation. Remember, you're by yourself, so you're not doing anything wrong. And even if you do something wrong or forget a rule, just push forward. Put yourself in a situation, roll the dice, say, I want to do this. Does this happen? Does that happen? Roll the dice, have fun, and you can see your adventure actually forming around you. And when you're done with your first session, you look back at the notes and you're going to be like, holy crap, I did all that? I mean, some of the stories that I've come up with are just like, I can't believe that I've come through some of those stories. So tell me what you think about in the comments below about solo role-playing, and maybe about, if you want to hear more about Hostel itself, I'll get more into the setting itself and how that works. I definitely want to do one on the Cepheus engine light, because I have that one on my shelf. I just got it recently because I wanted to see what the engine was like without a setting attached to it. So I'm gonna head out. Tell me what you think in the comments. Keep original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless, and keep those fires lit. Good night.
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet from your